Our hero's tragic past unfolded before our eyes. Picture a young boy and his sister, their innocent gaze fixed upon the horrifying spectacle of their parents being devoured by ferocious monsters. Fueled by a burning desire to protect others, he vowed to become an adventurer. In this world, ordinary folks were bestowed with extraordinary powers by the gods to combat these monsters. Usually, these abilities surfaced when a person reached the age of 12. Our protagonist's dream was to reach the esteemed S rank, battling monsters and safeguarding innocent lives. The boy even found solace in the church, fervently praying for divine strength. His prayers were answered in a peculiar manner when he discovered a unique skill bestowed upon him. Filled with joy, he rushed to share his newfound ability with the abbot, only to have his dreams crushed. The abbot revealed that his skill would never make him a successful adventurer, shattering the childhood dream he held dear. Fast forward to the present, and we encounter a grown man with a backpack full of belongings, relentlessly pursuing a red-haired companion. This fiery-haired fellow had intentionally hired an inept companion, hoping to extract at least some usefulness from him. Our protagonist's skill was resurrection, a power that only activated when he stood on death's precipice. Despite not becoming the hero he aspired to be, our protagonist persevered, working alongside seasoned adventurers even if his role was that of a mere errand boy. Out of nowhere, a tiny monster pounced on the red-haired companion, but he swiftly countered, engulfing himself in a blazing armor skill, his sword ablaze with red flames. A comrade, sporting a bandana, hurled a hammer with superhuman strength, utilizing his own power. Demons proved to be formidable adversaries, yet no match for their direct assault. Amidst the battle cries, our protagonist subtly hinted that deviating from the specified path would lead to dire consequences, but the stubborn heroes paid him no mind, shushing him as if he were an inconsequential guide. And so, they ventured deeper into the treacherous unknown, until Chrome's keen eye caught a falling droplet of saliva from the ceiling. Little did they know that this tiny sign was the harbinger of imminent danger. A group of tentacle monsters entered the scene, chaos erupted in a flurry of swinging swords and desperate attempts to survive. Our main character, realizing the gravity of the situation, decided to join the fray with his measly dagger. Just as he was about to face defeat, a sudden push from behind sent him hurtling towards the edge of an abyss. In a desperate move, he managed to cling to the ledge with one hand while an ominous figure with a wicked grin loomed above him. With a taunting sneer, the adversary proclaimed that our hero's demise would have no consequences. Then, he made a swift exit, leaving the protagonist to his fate. Meanwhile, the monster's slimy tentacles encroached upon him, dragging him away. Even if he resurrected, survival seemed unlikely without assistance. As his body was mercilessly torn apart, the agonizing realization settled in, was this his destined end? But just as the world blurred and faded, a message popped up, announcing the successful activation of a skill. Attempting to rise, he noticed that only bones remained of his body, no tissues, no skin, no organs. He had become nothing more than a walking corpse, a soul reborn through dark magic, inhabiting the remains of the deceased. In simpler terms, a wight, a creature that resided within bones. The abbot had warned him that the resurrection skill was incredibly rare, but utterly useless for an adventurer. Perhaps his sister had been right to leave him, warning that the danger was too great. Yet, a newfound motivation surged within him. Monsters underwent evolution. As their levels increased, they grew stronger and even changed in appearance. Maybe he, as a walking corpse, could also become an S-rank adventurer. Moreover, thanks to his ghastly appearance, ordinary monsters mistook him for being dead, giving him the advantage to explore his surroundings. Chrome's first victory came as he cleverly pretended to be lifeless, fooling a higher-level goblin before delivering a fatal blow. With each kill, his level increased from a mere 1 to a triumphant 3. He resolved not to succumb to death's grasp, especially since his evolution was set to begin at level 5. He continued his gruesome charade, vanquishing a sluggish creature with the same cunning tactic. As he sat near a cold dungeon wall, contemplating his existence, Chrome realized that his body no longer required sleep, but, lost in the depths of the dungeon, time became an elusive concept, slipping away from his grasp. The ever-elusive concern of Carmi, his sister. Did she even spare a thought for him? It seemed like the girl couldn't care less, even when he vanished for days on end. Chrome decided to put these thoughts aside and focus on his next move, taking down the level 7 Red-Eye monster by playing possum once again. If only that lick would pay him a bit more attention, he could study its habits. That's when he realized this creature's territorial instincts. So, he cleverly played dead near some bags, tricking the Red-Eye into thinking there was food nearby. Seizing the opportunity, he delivered a series of well-placed blows to the wolf before plunging it off the cliff, finishing it off. And just like that, he leveled up and evolved into a ghoul. His abilities skyrocketed, and the level cap expanded to 20. Eager to test his newfound powers, Chrome confronted another creature. Unfortunately, during the battle, he sustained wounds and came to the realization that using a sword with ghoul claws was far from convenient. So, he made a strategic decision to switch to hand-to-hand combat. With each successful kill, his level steadily climbed and the insatiable hunger of his ghoul body began to demand sustenance. 3 days passed, and Chrome continued to push his limits, reaching level 14. Thanks to his regeneration skill, he no longer worried about his health during fights, and fatigue, perhaps due to his unique race, became an afterthought. His new strength propelled him forward, allowing him to level up rapidly. The ghoul version of Chrome was truly superior to his former self. As he sat down once more to reflect on the past, memories of his close bond with his sister flooded his mind. However, over the years, their connection had faded, all because of his useless skill. He was reduced to working as a lowly guide, barely making ends meet. Meanwhile, Carmi had awakened her magical abilities and achieved the status of an adventurer. At one point, she even labeled him a weakling, clutching onto a childish dream and devoid of talent. Their communication dwindled, and she began to look down on him. But then, mysterious sounds echoed through the cave, instantly grabbing Chrome's attention. People, not just any people, but his sister herself, had entered the dungeon. Why was she here, though? He needed to make a hasty retreat. As he contemplated his escape plan, he realized that Carmi was part of a team involved in potion making. However, before they could delve further into their task, a sound emanated from the ghoul's claw, diverting their attention. Just as the mysterious sounds echoed through the cave, Carmi and her team sprang into action, assuming it was a monster lurking nearby. Quick as an arrow, Carmi launched an ice projectile, but alas, it struck Chrome's shoulder, rendering him unable to make a swift getaway. Chrome needed a distraction to escape, but Dean and Lena wasted no time in closing the level gap and lunging at him. The difference in their abilities was blatantly apparent, and avoiding a fight seemed unlikely. Undeterred, Chrome swung his sword, utilizing his fire skill, and cunningly managed to strike Derek's weapon with a stone. The unexpected maneuver caught Derek off guard, providing Chrome with a window of opportunity to retaliate. He swiftly landed a couple of claw strikes before turning on his heels and sprinting away. Chrome had to think on his feet, devising a plan to prevent Dean from landing too many quick blows. In a split second, he spun around and grabbed Lena's sword, leaving her dumbfounded as her weapon vanished from her grasp. He momentarily forgot about his sister, who retaliated with a barrage of icy spears that pierced his legs, causing his body to go limp. Thankfully, Chrome's regeneration skill kicked in, albeit not restoring his leg completely. Carmi readied an ice trident, poised to strike, and if he didn't flee now, his very own sister would end him. Attacking was futile and foolish in his current state. With a desperate plan forming in his mind, the ghoul mustered all his remaining strength to utter his sister's name. The shock of hearing her name from the ghoul's mouth threw Carmi off balance, causing her to miss with the trident, a momentary respite for Chrome. Dean, naturally displeased with the turn of events, witnessed Chrome rising to his feet. Taking advantage of Carmi's confusion, Chrome startled her before promptly making his escape. Carmi couldn't help but ponder the situation. This monster displayed an uncanny level of intelligence, almost akin to the undead. Chrome managed to put a significant distance between them, realizing that he wasn't quite ready for encounters with adventurers just yet. It would be wiser for him to focus on battling monsters and leveling up his skills before engaging in further encounters with humans of the adventurer variety. As Chrome ventured deeper into the dungeon, he couldn't help but notice the absence of his sister. They used to explore the labyrinth together, but ever since she leveled up, she stopped joining him. Curiosity nagged at him. Did she take a different path for safety reasons? Meanwhile, the group stumbled upon the lifeless body of an unfortunate adventurer who had fallen victim to robbery. Even though Chrome's comrades warned Carmi about the extreme danger that lay ahead, she stubbornly insisted on pushing forward, confident in their preparedness. But the depths of the dungeon were notorious for harboring a plethora of monsters, especially where mana was highly concentrated. It was a risky move, one that made Chrome question why she was willing to stake her life on this perilous endeavor. And then, as if to answer his doubts, a colossal level 22 ogre emerged before the group, sending shockwaves through their ranks. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, watch another. Until next time.